Thank you, Carla. I'm a happy customer. Speaking of customers, we're also a customer of the next company, Entrust. And would you please help welcome to the podium Entrust VP and Chief Marketing Officer, David Rockvam. David?
Thank you. I'm Dave Rockvam, Chief Marketing Officer for Entrust. We are also very pleased to be nominated for this award. And I'll tell you a little bit about Entrust and what's been going on with us over the last couple of years. We are in the security software market space, about $100 million in annual revenue. Why that's kind of important is kind of how I'll get to at the end of the slide. But that puts us in the top 10 of security market players of about 500 to 600 different software security market players. The bigger names you would know would be the McAfee, Semantics of the world. They're more partners than they are competitors in what we do. We do have a pretty global reach, around 1,700 customers in over 60 countries. We are headquartered here in the Metroplex with large offices in Ottawa, Canada, large office in Washington, D.C., run Europe out of the UK, and in Japan, headquarters for Asia Pacific. We are very focused on technology with over 100 plus patents issued over the last 10 years as a company, 10 plus years. We were founded right here in the heart of Telecom Corridor. In 1994, we actually were founded as a small business unit of Nortel Networks. In 1996, we spun off from Nortel and actually went public in August of 1998. Served as a public company for almost 11 years to the day, and we rode a couple different bubbles up and down. And on July 28th of this year, we ended up closing a private transaction with Thoma Bravo, a private equity firm based in Chicago with a technology practice out of San Francisco. Why that's real important to Entrust now is that $100 million software company and lots of smaller players out there and lots of other big gorillas we play against. We now have the financial resources to grow the company organically, but also they're going to use it as a roll-up platform to grow Entrust into a much larger security player. So we will be looking at making a number of acquisitions over the coming years to grow from the $100 to $200 to $300 million revenue company. So what does Entrust really do? Our tagline is securing digital identities and information. And what we're about is protecting the identity of an individual, protecting the identity of something, anything, or a piece of data, or the actual data point that accesses your network. And what we do is provide a digital certificate for that purpose. So what I'm going to talk about is a few of the different solutions that we have that help do that. Clearly across that market, what we do is we do that for 3 different vertical markets, and they're all very different in their needs. First is our government market, where we provide security for government agencies. So Department of State would utilize our technology to protect the identities of their employees that are out at the different State Department locations, and make sure that their information isn't tampered with, make sure that it isn't stolen, it can be used to access very important, very secure data. We also then do government-to-citizen applications, very similar to an application that would allow any of us to be able to access our government applications that we may need. We, just 2 years ago, signed with the Department of Treasury, so now that when you go online to buy U.S. savings bonds, if you're doing it online, you may be given a grid card, which is a very simple solution we came up with for authentication, so that when you're online, you can use your username and password, or you're also issued something that you have, so you can then be prompted for your ID and make sure that, yes, you are the person you say you are the person that should be doing that transaction. We're also very big in the financial institution area, focused on the banking, both inside banking for big bank-to-bank transactions, all the SWIFT network transactions on the bank-to-bank side for, I think, 3,500 member banks run on our solution to provide the security. We also then are on the consumer side as well, providing different types of security for you when you go online to bank at your given bank. You can use a very simple level of security, or we can raise it up to a very high level of security, all the way to some of those like one-time password tokens you may have seen that provide you a random number to be able to log in and authenticate to your bank website. And then we do that for enterprises a lot. The biggest application in enterprise is to log on your computer we're also making sure you're the right person getting on the network for VPN authentication. What we submitted for was some of our newer solutions, and what we're really doing is making sure that you're the right person that's entering either a country, entering an emergency site, if there's terrorist situation, some type of natural disaster, that anyone that needs to be in a location has the right credentials that says they can be there. The first one that we've launched is called FRAC, or First Responders Authentication Credentials. And what that is really a name badge. Think of it like you would have for work, but it's used for both physical and logical access. Someone arriving on an emergency site can present their badge. There's your pictures on it, name, different information. There's also a chip, and on that chip it contains a lot of critical information about you. What your access privileges are, what your main job or reason for being there would be. So we provide this to the state of Illinois. It was one of the first projects, and now they're looking to utilize that further out. We also, just quickly as I wrap up, we won the e-passport solution both in the U.S. and now we've won about 40% of the EU countries that are focused on providing stronger authentication. If you have a new e-passport over the last 3 years that has this digital chip, picture, or icon on the front, you're utilizing Entrust technology to protect your e-passport and the information that's on there.